you can accomplish all of your goals. Now, the interesting thing about this puzzle, and this is the most important part, so stick around, is that these dots actually represent all of the goals and aspirations that you have for your life. One of the most powerful perspective shifts that I experienced early in my 20s. So I want you to imagine there is a square made up of 9 dots. The goal is to connect every single one of those dots using only 4 straight lines without picking up the marker. Now, if you're like me, you started with the most obvious potential solution, and we go around the perimeter of the square. And then we realize we missed the dot in the middle. So I want you to continue to think about how you can solve this puzzle. Every single one of these dots are things you want to achieve or experiences you would like to have. And the lines are the unbreakable rules that we have to follow. Now, these could be laws. You can't break any laws if we want to make a lot of money. They could be laws of physics. If we want to lose weight or build muscle, we have to abide by the laws of thermodynamics and how calories work and how muscle building works and synthesizes. Those are the laws and rules that we have to follow. But yet, we follow the rules and we follow the laws, and we somehow still fall short of achieving the goal that we have for ourselves. So what gives? Why do we keep failing even though we're doing everything right or everything we were told that we should do? And that's where this next part becomes so important. Because the reality is, of all of the goals we want to accomplish and all of the rules that we have to follow, we're missing a very crucial element. And this is the perspective shift that completely changed how I saw the world. We've been trying to follow the rules that were given to us by others, but not just the unbreakable rules. We've been also stuck following rules that are arbitrary, ones that were dictated by societal structure, ones that were dictated or shown to us or taught to us by our parents, by our friends, by our social circles, by our teachers. Things and humans that had their own biases, their own experiences, and their own views of the world. When that happens, we still fall short of our goals, because oftentimes the things that we're taught by others aren't always an accurate reflection of the things we want for ourselves. So while we want to achieve our goals, and we need to stick to the unbreakable rules, which are the 4 interconnected lines without picking up the marker to connect all 9 dots. Those are the rules we can't break. The thing we have to understand, if we want to stand the chance of actually achieving our goals, is to ignore the arbitrary rules. The arbitrary rules that don't actually pertain to the things we're trying to accomplish. And so if you can recognize this, if you can recognize what are the arbitrary rules that you don't actually need to follow, then you can start to break those arbitrary rules. You can start to think outside of the box. You can start to see beyond the parameters that are believed to exist but don't actually exist. For example, Roger Bannister. He's the famous runner that broke for the first time the 4-minute mile. And it was interesting because before he did that, the entire world believed it to be an impossible task. And yet, once he achieved it, numerous other runners achieved the very same feat. So sometimes all it takes is someone to accomplish something that we all think is impossible for us to realize that we were all mistaken from the beginning. So that's the lesson from this puzzle, is to stop following the arbitrary rules. Don't break the unbreakables, but break the arbitrary. Because if you get rid of that idea, of that parameter, suddenly you can achieve your goals. That is the lesson here. Don't fall prey to the arbitrary parameters that are set. You can accomplish all of your goals following the unbreakable rules if you allow yourself to see beyond the self-imposed limitations that might exist. This is exactly why challenging your thoughts and your beliefs is so incredibly important for your success. Because the world, society, your friends, your parents, they will all impose their biases and their fears onto you, especially if you're trying to accomplish big goals. And that will create a set of arbitrary limitations. And if you fall prey to those limitations, you will continue to fail at your goals. But if you can think outside of them, it's not a puzzle you can't solve.